Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions again and again and again. We bring back Lee Ran. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good. I've been noticing on Facebook you've been going to all these different events. What's been going on?
Yeah, I've been networking, but and learning, but then taking action, implementing a lot in 2018, and a lot of it focused on building an audience and outside traffic.
Sounds good. So let's talk about outside traffic from your perspective today. I know we've done some Facebook stuff with you in the past, but we've got a few elements here. Let's start with the store pages. Let's start there. I mean, we haven't really covered much of it on the show. For me, it's, I kind of mentioned this on a previous show. It was part of that SAM program, which is not super impressive, but you've been experimenting with external traffic, sending to the page, and you can track and stuff like that. So Walk us through what you've been doing with it and the kind of value you've been extracting.
Yeah. So first, if in order to have a storefront for your brand, what you need is to have brand registry. So it's another incentive to have the new brand registry, right? Which means you need a trademark. So unfortunately, it takes time to get that. If you haven't done that yet, it's going to take you 6 to 9 months.
Just to interject there, with regards to trademarks, you are able to use, for instance, a UK trademark, which only takes 8 to 10 weeks to come through. I got an email from Amazon explaining that as long as it's a trademark that's registered within the marketplaces of their suggestion, you can utilize that trademark. So I'm going to take an advantage of using, for one of the new brands, a trademark that I'd done online myself, took 20 minutes or so. I think I paid for 2 classes, come to £240 or so. You go through a clearance process, which is about a week, just to make sure there's no opposition. And then it will go in for 8 weeks for clearance. And then after that, I should be able to utilize that data and take it back to Amazon for a trademark in the US for Brand Registry 2.0.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're saving yourself months and months by filing in the UK.
Yeah. There is another slight hack that other people are using, which I think it's called the Madrid system. So you need to look it up, which means is that if you use the Madrid system to do the whole of Europe, that means you could do your brand registry for each of those marketplaces in Europe and still use that trademark to cover for the US. So effectively, that's covering about 6 marketplaces.
Okay, so that's awesome. So you'll want to have all that in place. You want to have the brand registry, and that allows you to build out a storefront for your brand on Amazon. Essentially what that is like having sort of a mini website within Amazon. And so, typically if somebody clicks on your brand name and you don't have that storefront, they'll go to a regular sort of listing page on Amazon showing your products. If you have that storefront, once they click on that, on your brand name, they actually go into that mini sort of storefront website that you have on Amazon. You can actually have multiple pages if you have like different categories of products, and you can have video on there. You can have more lifestyle photos. You can have text. So you can do a lot of things in there. But one of there's a couple of big advantages that I wanted to kind of highlight. So one is that you have an option within the storefront the storefront gives you metrics on how many visitors are coming to the storefront, how many sales you're getting through the storefront. But it also allows you to, create sources of external traffic. So for example, let's say you want to run a Facebook ad and send it directly to the storefront. What you could do is for that specific ad, you can create that as a source of external traffic. And so you can create a tag of like Facebook ad with like that date, so you can know what type of ad it is. And then it gives you a URL to the storefront that has that tag at the end of the URL. And so when you're sending traffic from that Facebook ad to the storefront, it will actually track visitors and sales that came through that external traffic. And that's something that's been very difficult before, to be able to send traffic to a listing and track the sales.
So for clarity there, is that pixel tracking or a form of tracking that acts like a pixel tracking from sending the Facebook ads? So it's giving you conversion data, yeah?
Yeah, sort of, because what you're getting is a unique URL. that then Amazon is tracking. So you wouldn't want to create, if you're doing Facebook ads, I would probably create a new tracking code for each ad so that you can actually track each ad's performance. One other, things I've been doing is I've been using that to send Google AdWords traffic to the storefront. Yeah. Again, it allows me to create that tag and send traffic there. So I think that one, it's very helpful to be able to track how that traffic is performing. And two, you're also sending the customer to an ecosystem within Amazon where they don't necessarily see your competition. Now, when they get to your storefront, they'll look at all your listings they see, and when they click on, they will one of your products, they will get to the detail page, which then obviously around it will be ads and everything else. But at least initially, they're first learning about your brand. They can watch a video about your brand, find out about your brand story, so you can have a better sort of brand story message there, and also be able to track that outside traffic. So I really like it for that reason.
Okay, so just to break it down a bit here, you mentioned about a unique URL. So do you have the ability, like you've just said, you do Facebook ads, but in this case you're doing AdWords. Mm-hmm. Are you using a unique URL for each path? So each form of advertising, or are you doing it on like per channel, i.e. AdWords, Facebook, or you're doing it at ad level in the campaign?
I'm doing it on the ad level in the campaign where, I have multiple keywords. Now I haven't set it up really. If you wanted to go more granular, you can set up like each keyword or, that you're targeting really with a unique URL. So you can actually break down how every single keyword is performing. But I have it broken down by like ad groups with similar keywords in there. So I might not know which specific keyword is the best converting, but I know in a small group of keywords what's converting.
And although you're capturing the data now, what kind of data is Amazon giving, and how are you washing it against your AdWords data? So AdWords is going to give you your clicks, and it's going to give you time of day, etc., when the clicks and stuff take place. But what data?
Sure. So on AdWords, I get the data of what keywords that I'm targeting were clicked. I also get the search terms, just like sponsored ad search term report. You can see the search terms, and then you can use negative keywords and things like that. On Amazon, so let's say I'm sending a group of keywords within a campaign on AdWords, and I'm sending that to Amazon with that tracking link. Amazon will tell me how many visitors came and what the sales were through that link, through my storefront. So they're essentially giving me the data on where I could actually look at the ROI of how my AdWords campaign is performing. Yes. So I really like that because it gives you the ability to, scale. Like I know some people who have been doing AdWords regardless of being able to track the traffic, because one, they think it does convert, and two, they know that it's a good ranking signal to send outside traffic to Amazon.
Agreed. I've got a little hack that I done, and I haven't got enough data to prove it, but I've always told the audience previously to look into this, is that the first thing you should search for is your main keywords that you're ranking for on Amazon, so that you're in the search pages of positions 1, 2, 3 or whatever. Then you want to do a Google search for those as well. And you want to see if your brand name as one comes up, and then you want to see if your main keywords come up. If not, start running campaigns using your link to Amazon, which you can add a third-party URL now. You never used to be able to. And what will happen is when the snippets under the ad on Google's search pages in the SERPs, you'll get like all the different metrics, like where it gives you rates out of 10 for reviews and stuff like that. So Amazon's stellar. So the click-through rate is super high. Right. Doing that, what I'd noticed is eventually Amazon picked up on what I was doing, and then they started to run campaigns on those keywords. So it's like, well, there's no point me competing. So then you can put, you can negative match them out and then work on a secondary set of keywords. Now, I've done that a few times in the UK, not so much in the US, but I'd encourage people to look at that because it's a great way of sending outside traffic. And my theory behind it is AdWords is far more sophisticated, and a lot of people got proprietary systems that they will use. So they will harvest data to see what's working. And if they're seeing traffic coming to their website from a set of keywords, for instance, or they're getting signals within their campaigns where they've got certain rules are set up for them, they're seeing, oh, okay, well, these keywords seem to be working. Let's start to run and automate and run ads, work out what keywords are working, and then create ads off the back of those and use what's called dynamic keyword insertion. So you would operate an ad off that. So it's your main keywords, but then when the user types into Google, right, there's a variable and then there's a fixed part of the keyword for people that are not aware. And so what that does, it creates more relevance. And you'll see that when you type in your keywords and you look at your ads, you'll see your keywords in the ads are in bold. And quite often that's where they've hit the keyword exactly, or it's because you're using dynamic keyword insertion and it's picking up the data from there.
Right. Yeah. So that's great information, and the dynamic part is not something I've played with. And I also think that one sort of low-hanging fruit for this opportunity to use AdWords is, if you're selling barbecue gloves, then target keywords like barbecue gloves Amazon, because a lot of people are just searching Google and actually looking for Amazon, and so they're going to put grilling gloves Amazon or whatever.
Be careful bidding on brand names though, but yeah, you could say, Amazon normally comes up in the search results on most stuff. When you say buy and then say whatever the product is, Amazon stuff comes up anyway. So one of the keywords that you could do is like buy silicone spatula, buy such and such, but just play around with different variables and separate them into separate key groups.
Right. And and now if you want to send that traffic into your storefront, then you're actually able to track the results of sending that traffic.
Yeah, whereas before you couldn't. And there's always been a gray area. Like before you could only use your own URL that you'd set up your Google AdWords account with. It was like unique to that, along with your Google Analytics, right? But now you can add a third-party URL, which has left it open a bit, because even when I wrote to both Google and Amazon about that to get clarity on it, it still wasn't kind of clear whether you can use Amazon URL or not, So I would say urge on the side of caution with that, but it's always good to cover yourself.
Right. So that's been something that I've been working on. The other advantage to the storefront is that what I noticed is that if you're in your storefront and you can click on something like run ads to the storefront, and you can actually run headline ads to your storefront. Now, what I found to be the one advantage of doing that is I have one brand where this brand I only have right now 3 ASINs. One of them is out of stock. So I can't run traditional headline ads until all 3 ASINs are in stock, because you need 3 ASINs to run headline ads. But if you're running the traffic to the storefront, you don't. So if you go into your storefront, you click drive traffic with ads or something to it, you get to a page, and I've been running ads with 2 ASINs, headline ads with 2 ASINs to my storefront, which is something I haven't seen before, that you're able to do, run headline ads with less than 3 ASINs. So that's another big advantage. If you just recently launched, 1 or 2 products for a brand, you can start getting a lot more traction by running headline ads to your storefront.
Right. Good tip. And anything else you want to cover here on that before we move on to?
No. So, I would just say, if you don't have brand registry, go get it, because, I think there's going to be more things that are coming for sellers. So as an example, one thing I think that will come eventually from Amazon is customers will have the ability to follow brands. For example, so they can go on your storefront maybe, and there'll be a little bit of there'll be a button they can click, get promotional updates from this brand. And so Amazon is going to put it in the customer's control whether or not they want to hear from you. And then you'll be able to send those customers, maybe, coupons or promo codes or things like that every so often. And I think that's going to be part of the storefront at some point. So, or at least part of brand registry. So it's worth getting brand registered because there's going to be more, I think, more and more things. Just one interesting thing I saw this week, I heard it was coming, and I saw this week with big brand, on Amazon.com, they were promoting a live stream where a couple of people, they're almost doing like a home shopping channel kind of show, and doing a special deal only for the duration of the show. It was like, I don't know, half an hour or something, where it was like a kitchen product, and they were showing how to use it and make stuff in the kitchen and whatever. And it was like a special during the live stream, and they were actually selling the product. And I think that's something that eventually, sellers will be able to get access to as well. Probably right now it's in beta within retail. But I think that's coming too. So I think a lot of these things will be available to brand registered brands.
Sounds good. And let's chat about Facebook ads and chatbots, etc.
Sure. So one of my goals for 2018 has really been to build an audience outside of Amazon, right? Not to not have Amazon as my business, but have Amazon as a distribution channel, right? Because if you look at big brands, you take a look at a brand like Sony, right? For them, Amazon is not their business. It's a distribution channel because they distribute through retail, through their website and other sources. And obviously, I'm not looking to be Sony, but I'm looking to have Amazon be a distribution channel, not my entire business. So one of the things I'm working on is building audiences of customers, even if I send them to Amazon, just having control of the audience outside of Amazon. And so one of the best ways I think to do that right now is by building an audience on Facebook Messenger. So if you're not familiar with it, there are programs. One of them, the one I'm using, is called ManyChat, which allows you to build out just the same way you would build out an email sequence, build out a sequence through Facebook Messenger. The advantage of doing this, and instead of building an email list and building out this subscriber list, is that the open rates are like, around 90% for when you send somebody a messenger chat versus email, right? If you get a notification on your phone and it's messenger, you kind of open it and probably respond right away or look at it, versus email, it's like something that you might do once a day, you might delete, you might ignore, etc. So one of the things I've been doing is running ads to Messenger, which you could do, and then building out these flows where there's automated messages or responses. So the way I've been doing that is doing multiple things to build up this audience. One example is you can set up an Amazon giveaway. So you do this on the public page. You basically go as a customer and you buy the product from yourself. One kind of trick there is that you can set a coupon code ahead of time, 99% off, without any code required, so none. And then you're able to buy the product from yourself at 99% off. Just make sure you're setting your max order quantity, you're not making it public on the page, and that you're removing that ability to do that for customers. So you kind of go in, do it, and then end the promotion after. So you want to be careful on how you set it up. But you buy the product from yourself at 99% off, you set up an Amazon giveaway, and you can run an ad just to build an audience targeting people who like, let's say if it's barbecue gloves, people who like grilling, right? And you're targeting Amazon giveaway. They have to click to interact with your bot to get the link to the Amazon giveaway. And then all the people who lose get an option to buy your product at a discount, at 30% off discount, or 40% off, or whatever you want to do. You can also, if you're launching a new product, you can try to even put in a two-step URL in the message that they get, an Amazon two-step URL in there to get them to go to the page, rank it, and give a deeper discount. So this is one strategy where it's very easy to get very cheap, collect that audience very cheaply, because you're doing an ad that's going to get a lot of engagement. The reason is because I'm targeting people who like grilling, and the ad is, hey, we're giving away a set of grill gloves and whatever, And so the click-through rate and the engagement on it is typically very good, which means, I've been running one campaign where, it's costing me like 29 cents to get somebody to interact with the bot, right? So I'm collecting that audience. Not everyone is buying the product, but now they're on my subscriber list. So that means now that I can send them broadcast messages. If they did buy the product, a few days later, I can send them an automated message that says, hey, by the way, you entered our promotion. Did you end up buying the product at a discount or whatever, right? And they say there's a little button that you set up for them, yes or no. If they say yes, you could say, wow, do you love it, or did you have any problems with your order? And they're like, yeah, I love it. Then great, we'd love for you to leave a review, right? And then you give them a link to leave a review. So I've gotten my review rates up by doing things like that and being able to more interact with that customer outside of Amazon and owning that customer. So I think it's a great thing to focus on right now. If you want to, you can utilize this for ranking purposes. For example, you can, one thing I've done is you can actually distribute single-use coupon codes through Messenger by connecting a list of the codes in Google Sheets with ManyChat. So using Zapier to connect those single-use codes and actually distribute a different code to each customer. So there's a whole lot that you could do with Messenger Bot. And I would tell you this is a great place to focus because it's really cheap right now to get those subscribers. And it's an area more and more people are going to focus on, and the cost will probably go up over the next year, 2, 3 years. But right now is a great time to get that audience, and the open rates are really good. In 2 or 3 years, I would imagine the open rates are going to come down as people
fatigued by it.
As people already are used to getting sort of marketing messages on Messenger.
Well, it's the same like anything, isn't it? It's like email sequences on Amazon. They used to be a hit a couple of years ago, but then they degrade, didn't they? More and more people using, the cost goes up, and also the fatigue kicks in because the novelty aspect disappears. But no, that's been really good. So best ways people can reach you, Liran?
Sure. So you can send me an email, liran@amazingfreedom.com. You could also contact me on Facebook. Just ping me, PM me. Tag me. We also have a Facebook group called the Amazing Freedom Amazon Sellers Group, and so you can also join that group. And I have to say, your audience, is always I always get some comments about how they love your shows. I had somebody email me this week from your show, which I need to get back to with some follow-up questions. So I do try to get back to people if they do email me, and your audience always, I think, appreciates the show.
Excellent. Thank you. Guys, thanks for joining us. Liran, thanks for joining us. I'm sure we're going to be having you back again soon. We'll see you soon, guys. Take care.